Today I'm going to show you how to use a commercial grade professional fairy floss machine, also called cotton candy, candy floss. There's a few other names that are given to it, but either way it makes fairy floss. So I'm going to show you how to use it. This is what we do. First things first, you need to turn the power on. That gets it moving. Okay, now there's a few different models that have slightly different configurations on the settings here, but essentially it's a similar sort of thing. You need the power to be on, you need it to be heating up. Now we're giving it a moment to warm up so that it will produce a fairy floss. Fairy floss is basically produced when sugar is spun around and heated, and then it spins out like a spider web. So I've turned the heat on, I've turned the power on. This particular model also has a music option. Very annoying. Some of the other models don't have that. It depends on whether you want that or not. Either way, there's no extra charge. Okay, now we give it a couple of minutes to warm up. Now we see inside here, this is the part we want to keep kids' hands well and truly away from. Okay, while it's warming up, there's a couple of things that you need to know about food safety. Firstly, always wear gloves. When you're handling food, when you're going to be serving to people, you want to be wearing gloves and make sure that your wrists and hands have been sanitized before. We also want to keep our hair tied back. We can have a hairnet or a cap. But we need to make sure hands, and also jewelry, I should take my watch off, any rings as well should be out of the way, so we don't have any microbiological or any physical contamination in the food. We also want to make sure the kids are well and truly away from the fairy floss machine as well. Kids get very excited, especially when the fairy floss starts to be produced. We don't want kids sticking their hands in there, they'll lose their fingers. Okay guys, keep the kids away. Fairy floss machine ideally needs to be on a stand such as this one, or a very sturdy table, something where the kids aren't going to be able to pull the machine down on themselves, because I've got numerous warning signs down here, warnings for electric shock, warnings because if the kids put their hand in there, they can cut their fingers. So it's something that needs to be positioned in a way where it's safe, where the kids can watch from a safe distance, and an adult, a responsible adult who's been shown how to use it, can operate it safely. Okay, now let's get a bit closer and have a look at what's going on here. The voltage meter here tells us that it's heating up. Once it's nice and warm, what we're going to do, back a bit. Now, I'm going to turn the power off for a moment so that I can put the sugar in without splattering it all over myself. But if we get some sugar, what we do is, we'll just look in here, we just pour the sugar in to the centre of the fairy floss machine, fill it up there, and I can feel with my hand there that that's nice and warm. Alright, that's how we want it to be, nice and warm. Otherwise, if it's not warm enough, it'll take too long to produce the fairy floss. Now, okay, I've turned it back on, we give it a moment. After a minute or so, once it's warmed up, okay, we can see, well, a little bit of fairy floss is starting to be produced. I can pull it around like the Earth rotating around the sun on its own axis, or I can just spin it around. Either way, it's up to you. Ooh, there we go. And we get a proper fairy floss stick. You can buy these yourselves, otherwise we can provide them to you. You can get the sticks from us, you can get the fairy floss sugar from us, or you can get them yourself. Either way, whatever's easiest for you. And then we twirl it around nice and fast, and then turn it off once we're done. And what have we got here? Fairy floss, nice. Now you can shape that into whatever particular shape you want to do it. You can make nice big fluffy ones, you can pat them down to make a shape that suits you. But either way, we've got some fairy floss, the kids love that. Fairy floss machine, very easy to use. All that we ask is after you're finished. Now let's have a look under the corners here. Once you're done using the machine for the day, just simply unhook the hinges, unflip there, and making sure that you're doing this when the kids are not near it. They can't bump it, they can't hurt themselves on it. Unhook the switches now. You can take the top off, give it a good clean, get all the sugar and muck out of it so that's ready for the next person. We'll sterilise it as well. And then that's it. Fairy floss machine. Half price with any jumping castle hire from Jumperama Castles and Clowns.